All right, folks, we're back with the man with the plan, the innovator, the entrepreneur, Connecticut to Miami, folks. We're here with the co-founder and CMO of Crossnet, Chris Meade. Chris, how goes it?
How are you?
Fantastic. We have a little different setup today, as you can tell. I'm actually at HQ working with the team here in Columbus, obviously joined with my co-host and partner in crime, Max Blank. And this is the first time I said your name right. Can you folks believe he didn't correct me for 5 podcasts? His last name. I love this guy. Okay, so I want to kind of just jump in because, Chris, I've been a long-time listener, first-time caller, and your story's so cool. And one of the biggest hacks in life for podcasting is I get to non-creepily ask really smart people who I want to be like and admire onto the podcast. So I want to give you a quote for yourself just to start off where we can jump off there. So, quote, went to film school, wanted to be a movie director, graduated with $100K of debt, had a shitty-ass job, and one night had a crazy good idea. Quit my job, broke up with my GF, moved to Florida with $2K to my name, haha, sold one net, bought two, did that until we buy 5,000 at a time, paid ourselves 18 months later, and now we're in 300 stores.
That sounds accurate besides 3,000 stores.
Oh, let's 10X it, baby. Let's 10X it.
Great.
Give me some context in that. That's a lot going on. I know some creatives in the film, and that is so far from like an entrepreneurial, capitalistic type of mindset.
Yeah.
So give our listeners some color there.
I think the world's kind of fucked, right? Like you stress people to go to college, and then you don't even know what you're signing up for. Especially if your parents aren't like. I love my mom to death, but like she's not too financially savvy. So if you force your 18-year-old kid to go into college with a $50,000 a year like program, how the hell are you going to pay that off when you're coming out of college and you're making $12 an hour? I might as well be working at McDonald's. Like it just doesn't add up, and it's like it's so backwards. Like I mean, I've made incredible connections at college. I had the best time of my life. Like I don't regret it. But if I didn't invent Crossnet, I would be still so damn screwed, you know? And, I went to film school. I grew up in a small farm town in Connecticut. Always wanted to get out of that farm town. And I thought, let me be a film director, right? Because I can be rich and famous and it'll be easy. Got onto film sets and it sucked, dude. It was so bad. I was literally on the set like 12 hours a day, like blending people like beet juice and then like them getting pissed off that it didn't taste good. It was just a terrible job. And like I'd be waking up at 3 a.m, like commuting to Chinatown and then getting home at 11 o'clock and then wake up and do it all over again. And I was 21. I was like, this sucks. Like why did I want to do this my whole life? And I'm sure had I stuck with it and had I progressed like and actually became a director, I'd be loving life just as I'm loving life now. But like I didn't have that grind in me, especially when I could barely afford food.
Yeah. And kind of to your guys' point, too, even making the economics even more pernicious, you ain't shedding that student loan debt, baby. There's taxes, child support, and student loan debt. No matter what you do, you ain't getting rid of that. So like that even compound, like you take out a credit card loan, business loan, whatever, go bankrupt. Shed it 10 years later, you can live your life. Like you can't do that with your college debt. Yeah, I'm totally with you. So what was it? I'm from the Midwest, so is that kind of the same vibe in terms of like rural Connecticut? Like very like you need to get out if you don't fit in the X or Y box, it's kind of challenging to live your life or your best life.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think a lot of people like really got out of the town. I mean, all my friends from back home are still there. No knock to them. Like they love life and they just have different things, you know? Like 100%. I was just in Italy. Like Italy would be a pipe dream for a lot of people, and it is what it is. But for me, I just knew I always wanted to get out of the town. I mean, it was 25 minutes to go get gas. To go to the movie theater was 55 minutes. There's one restaurant that only sells chicken tenders. Like, it was just, like, super small farm town, which is cool because then, like, I do miss the days where, going out to Dunkin' Donuts was, like, the biggest thing of my day. And, like, that iced tea was, like, amazing and worth a half an hour drive. But now you bang that out in Miami in 15 seconds and you get on with your day. Like, so it's just a shift in perspective. I definitely miss when times are slower, but at the same time, I love having the world as a resource. Like in seconds, I could do anything in Miami.
Totally. Yeah, it's the give and takes. I love that. So outside of just economic pressure, why did you start Crossnet? Or like give this is just like a little think vape session, and then it just comes to light, or like what? Because essentially, for people who don't know and who are just listening, how would you describe Crossnet? Almost like a Foursquare volleyball vibe mix, or you could probably put it better.
The world's first four-way volleyball game. It's essentially Foursquare plus volleyball together. Keep the ball alive. Don't let it land in your square. You could be as competitive as you want or as lazy as you want and do it with a beer in your hand. But yeah, we're one of the fastest growing backyard games on the planet. And it all happened one night. We were just brainstorming some ideas and we wrote it down. And it was essentially, if we don't do this, somebody else is going to do it because it's such an obvious idea. And we Googled it and we assumed somebody else was already doing it, but there wasn't a thing on the internet for it.
I love that.
I find that fascinating. From my experiences speaking with e-commerce entrepreneurs, it's like a lot of people don't invent something new. You know what I mean? They just kind of find something that's already out there, and
which makes it tough because there's no road. There's really no map for me, right? I can't call somebody up who sold his four-way volleyball business and been like, "Yo, how did you do it?" I'm like carving a new path, which is cool because we have endless potential. But at the same time, I'm going up against shit of building a brand from scratch, right? Like, if I was selling coffee, like I don't need to educate you on why coffee's cool. Like, right. So it's pretty tricky. Yeah.
I love that. So, speaking on kind of that rocket ship up into the right growth, when did you have that like aha moment that you were onto something? Because one of the bigger things for me was when you guys were featured on Sports Center. That was just such a
that's pretty dope, right?
Like, that has to be that's the pinnacle, right? Like I mean, I don't know how maybe Olympics is next level, but I mean I don't know. It's just that's as big as it gets for me in terms of the zeitgeist. So before that happened, was there any kind of like, obviously you don't want to count your chickens before they hatch sort of vibe, but there had to be some time where you were looking at the metrics like, hey, we really might be onto something. When did you have that epiphany, or when did that happen? Of course.
It's also funny, before we get into that, like, as much as you say like ESPN and all that is the pinnacle in Olympics, it is, but it's an ego move. It's not a financial move, right? Like, you don't make money from that shit. And most people do not understand this because they're not in the sports world. But growing a sport is typically a money loser. Selling a product is how I get rich, right? So I need to sell the product.
Yeah.
It'd be amazing to have 1,000 leagues out there and everyone playing Crossnet. That just burns cash. And I'm not trying to light no cash on fire. I want to make money. So I care more about selling the product than building the leagues. But building the leagues will create organic traffic and create organic eyeballs, so it's a fine balance. Back to your question. Dude, honestly, like the first day we made it, like just bullshitting in the backyard playing for 8 hours. It was so much fun. And as soon as we took it to Florida and Miami when we moved here, we go to the beach every day. And I wish I would still do it. I do miss those days when I could do it. We'd sit on the beach for 8 hours and we would just holler at people, get them to play. And we'd have 50 people play. And somebody would buy it. And then we'd take that cash and we'd buy 2 more. And we just kept doing that.
That's the OG guerrilla marketing. I love it. I mean, that's the Pitbull equivalent, right? You're going out there with your CD, listen to my CD. I love that. And also to your point about the economics, you're absolutely right. I was heavily involved, not in CrossFit directly, but peripherally with a lot of boxes. And that's essentially their same model where the CrossFit Games loses them money, but it's this kind of prestige credibility indicator, and they make money off of boxes, training, affiliate fees, that kind of stuff. But the actual contest,
exactly, and if you do,
or at best break even.
And if you do too much of that, you don't have enough gas in the tank to actually fund your business. So it's like a constant balance beam.
Yeah, exactly. You get into some cash flow issues. Absolutely, yeah, that's amazing.
From when you let me jump in. Let me just ask
go ahead.
A quick question. From when you first had the idea, right? How long was it till you had the prototype?
Oh, bro, 6 hours later. I went to bed at like 4 a.m. We woke up, we drove to Walmart, 30 minutes back, texted our friends, and yeah, we were good to go the next afternoon. It wasn't the real prototype, incredible. Right? It was 2 volleyball nets cut out in the middle, and you jerry-rigged it up in the backyard, but it worked.
Okay, great.
MVP, baby. MVP. That's incredible. So you're super young. Where do you? I think my notes say you're 28, 29 now. So 28. You're our second Forbes 30 under 30 as well. We had Josh as well. So you know the prestigious You're Not Your Roaz podcast here. But what would you say like the key to your success was? Like obviously you were in a unique place starting out. You had some financial headwinds. You necessarily weren't doing the things you wanted to do in that director kind of film school role. How did you get to where you are now?
I just wanted a better life for myself, and like, I think we just grinded hard, bro. But it's also like I'm sure as you guys can relate, like it's so much fun when your work is fun. Like I'd take working on Shopify, building shit over going to the bar 100 nights out of 100 nights. Like it's just fun, especially when the money starts to come in, right? Like it's a great time when you're hanging with your boys and you're inventing something cool. And you're passionate about it. So I think we just had like a relentless hunger, and growing up like how we grew up, I wanted better for myself and for my family, and to retire my mom and do all that shit. Like, and I don't need a lot of money, right? Like I could survive on $20 a day if I needed, but it's cool to see how fast it's growing, but just keep doubling down. And we've never been the type of people like, we could have tanked the business so many times. We bought stupid Ferraris and all the stupid shit you see on Twitter. Like all the money goes back into the business every time. We pay ourselves a salary. We go on cool trips. I live a great life, but like, I'm not cashing out. Like if I cashed out, I wouldn't have the money to fund the purchase orders for the Sam's Club and the Walmarts and all that stuff. So a lot of people try to reward themselves too early just so they can flex, and then they can't even build their own business, or they have to give up all your equity. So,
Yeah. No, that's so prescient. I absolutely love that. The other thing too, I kind of want to touch on. So one, the old Kanye line, like I don't do this to push a RAV4, right? So I love that. I'm with you there. But at the same time, you have a very unique structure, right? Because your little brother runs the ship, and then your best friend is also heavily involved, correct?
Childhood friend, yeah.
So trusted friend. So give me some color into that, like, because some people have different views on, hiring friends and family and stuff like that. How has that worked out for you? Oh, obviously it's worked out well, but has there been any like challenging moments, and how do you navigate those business relationships that also, ultimately will spill over into personal relationships?
I think it's a good balance. It's definitely had its challenges here and there, but I think the most important for us was that all three of us had a different skill set that complemented each other well. I think when you have two founders or three founders that all do the same damn thing, it's just gonna create conflicts of interest. With us, like our founding story, right? Like, I was the salesperson. After the movie world, I got into like, I was a SDR, which is like a sales rep, just bugging people through email. And then I was a account associate over at Uber. Like I helped launch Uber Eats. So I had like really good. I had pretty decent like sales experience, like reaching out to people who shouldn't be responding back to me, and that's what I brought to the table. And then my brother was really good on the social side. He was the marketer back then, and then our other friend Mike, he was the engineer. So all three of us coming together created a business, and we all had our own different skills. And as much as we could communicate and collaborate and all that, the business would run because we were all doing our own thing, and together we were all elevating together rather than stepping onto each other's toes. So, but I mean, on a negative side, for being honest, like there's definitely times where it's hard to shut off the Crossnet, and I'm sure you guys understand that too. Like there's a time to be brothers, and there's a time to be friends, and there's a time to talk business, and it sucks when it all kind of spills over. So we've definitely tried to make a conscious effort, as of late especially, to be like, from here to here, you do not talk about business. Like, we're brothers. Like, this is a brother conversation. And so, pros and cons, but I wouldn't trade it for the world.
That's amazing. I love it. Well, you made it through our first main segment.
Dope.
But this is why people bought the ticket. We're going to jump into the value add segment. So you are titled as CMO, obviously co-founder as well. What's the hardest part of being CMO for Crossnet, and what's the easiest part?
Right now, it's seasonality. Sucks. It's October. Who in their right mind wants to buy a volleyball net unless you live in Miami? So it's how do we prepare for the future, get the team ready for Black Friday, and how do we keep morale high when we're in the slowest season like of our business? Because you got tons of wins in the summer and it's great, but it's like set it and forget it, right? USA Volleyball, dope. We're official partner, but that was in July. What have you done for me recently?
Yeah.
So those are things like I'm working on personally. Like right now, we're about to launch a new website within the next 3 weeks. So that's been keeping me busy. It's not a sexy thing behind the scenes, but when it launches, it's going to be great. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. What's the easiest part?
Work. Easiest part's setting my own schedule, right? Like I don't have to lie to my boss and like come in late and like it's sick. Like I can just do whatever I want when I want as long as I work, which is awesome, and nobody can tell me otherwise. Then that's priceless. It's awesome having a great product, right? I'm sure it sucks being an entrepreneur with a shitty product and just like,
especially if you're
right. Like we have a dope product and nobody can tell me it's not dope and like it's not fun because it is fun. And it's a great time. You may suck at it, but that's not my fault. But like, it's a great, fun product, and it's easy to sell and easy to market. And we kind of hit a gold mine, and I don't feel bad for it. Like, just blast it up, keep it going.
No, I love that. And honestly, too, I think people have a really highly tuned bullshit detector. I think charisma can kind of cover that. But at the end of the day, like, you can tell your enthusiasm for the product is sincere, and you can tell for us, you know, if your product sucks, that was one of the hard things. Or even if you're a great salesperson, you feel almost swindly, right? When you're hustling shit,
absolutely.
where it's just like, oh man, I'm trying to hit my commissions, but I know this car is gonna break tomorrow. Block that number,
Exactly.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, so tell me, because you have a fairly complex business in terms of distribution channels, because you are DTC, but as well as in stores, and then as well wholesaler as
and
well,
distribution,
right?
yeah.
So
everything.
how do you?
It's a lot.
Everything. Yeah, I mean, it's full-fledged as you get. How do you balance all that, and then how do you, in terms of marketing resources, capital, so on, kind of, what does that marketing mix look like in terms of deployment?
Yeah,
does that make sense?
Makes complete sense, and I think we'd be on a 10-hour podcast if we went through it all. But essentially, Crossnet 2017, 2018, majority of 2019, primary D2C, which has its benefits, cash flow-wise, building an audience, all of that good stuff.
Margins are better, I'm guessing,
depends.
right?
Depends on how shitty Facebook is that day. Crossnet 2019, we'll call it Crossnet 2.0. You start to not want to be the Crossnet that's shipped out of Chris's mom's basement, right? We want to be the world's fastest growing backyard game. We're legit. How do we do that? We're sold in big box stores. It's no longer, we're this some drop ship company. This is a legit product and a legit sport. So we partner with Shields, which is a Midwest store I'm sure you guys are familiar with, 35 locations. I took that and I went, Dick's, we're in Shields, let's get in Dick's. We got nationwide with Dick's, and we got nationwide with Academy Sports. So that was like within the span of like 5 months, we went from 0 stores to like 1,500 stores. And that's tough. It's really tough, especially when...
How do you keep up with that supply?
So, like I said, we weren't buying Ferraris; we were building cash. So we had cash and we had resources, and I didn't have to sell the company.
How'd you get into the buyers?
LinkedIn DMs, bro. LinkedIn DMs, and
it was
just me. All I had to do was I added all the buyers when I started Crossnet. I'm starting to get more active on Twitter. My Twitter account got banned, so I had to remake it. But my LinkedIn account never got banned, so we'll talk about that later. But I added all the buyers and all the marketers at every store, and I wouldn't DM them right away because that's annoying as hell. But I would just post Crossnet every day, and I would post interesting content. I mean, my LinkedIn following is like really good, and eventually the buyers would start liking it, like liking the Crossnet stuff. So then when it was time to make a cold introduction, it wasn't like, hey, my name's Crossnet, I'm the founder of Crossnet. It's like, yo, what's good? I saw you like that. Like, you like that? We should put it in the store, right? So it was easier to have those conversations when they're aware of who you were and you don't come in like a robot on LinkedIn because nobody likes that. So eventually, that's exactly how it happened. And then, 6 months of setting up paperwork and all that fun stuff. But, we got into those stores and you just leverage it, right? Like, the Sporting Goods, okay, cool. Let's take that logo and let's get into Walmart. Okay, Walmart, let's take that logo and go here. So that's how we've progressed. Our sales have 100% shifted from 100% D2C to like 60/40. And then we have Amazon as well. And
oh wow,
how does that fall into the mix?
It's fun. I wouldn't even be.
Is that FBA?
So,
or are you guys shipping?
We have a distributor. Shout out Spreetail. They're like one of the biggest Amazon distributors. And so what they do is they. Here's a good anecdote actually. So they bought from me back in 2019. They bought 25 units, which was great money back then when we were just starting. The lady called me up over the weekend and said, "Hey Chris, we just got them in stock on Friday. They sold out on Sunday." I was like, "Oh damn, okay." She's like, "I know you have a container." And I remember I had one foot into the bathtub. Like I was about to walk into the bathtub. And I was on the phone with her. And she's like, "I know you have a container on the water. Can I buy this entire container?" And that was like, bro, that's 2,500 units. So it was like
100x.
It was like a well over $250,000 order, which for us was everything at that point. And
don't drop the phone in the tub,
right,
bro.
Exactly.
Jeez.
So yeah, that was our partner, and now they buy 10, 20,000 units at a time. It's amazing. So they're a really good partner for us. They handle all of our Amazon, all of our PPC, and they also get us onto like Walmart.com, Target.com. I mean, Walmart has their own platform now, but back in the day, that wasn't an option for sellers. So they manage all that, and they manage all the customer service. We just drop them product. It's a really good relationship. So I consider that a wholesale relationship, even though the margins are a little bit different. But yeah, that's a wholesale part of our business. So yeah, 60/40, 70/30, depends on the season. But it's a fine balance because you want all the customers to come to your site, but you also want to make them happy.
Yeah. Do you find that a lot of your traffic is pouring over to their Amazon sales and allowing?
Yeah, absolutely, bro. It's tough. We've tried to combat it. Recently, we've combating it with free shipping on our site, which eats into our margins because historically we've never done free shipping. But now, in the cold winter, which is our October, you want cash flow. You want cash flow for your biz. So we've kind of shifted to free shipping for a little bit to help with that conversion. And but the entire marketing messaging is crossnetgame.com. You go to our website. We don't advertise Amazon, but you'll see the logos there, and it's exactly. Sure. I mean, when's the last time you guys went to Target and bought something for $150 that you didn't know before? Like you had to get an impression beforehand, unless it's a TV, point. Right? Like when that, like you're not blindly spending $150.
So that pours over. It's like your ad spend pours over.
Exactly. I mean, that's why we use Triple Whale. I mean. Hey, plug. There's a quote. There's a quote.
Nice plug. Here we go. Here we go. So as you're building, your balance sheet starts to get big. You're starting to build out this war chest. How are you recruiting talent? Like, how are you building your team?
LinkedIn, friends of friends, Twitter. Company culture is super important for us.
Oh yeah, talk about that. Talk about kind of how do you set your company culture and what is your goal, or like what's the ideal company culture at Crossnet?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we don't have some structured, rigid thing. I think, at least me personally, like I've clearly covered it in the last 20 minutes. Like I came from a very corporate background after film school, and like where I'd have my manager email me saying, "Yo, your shirt's partly untucked," or "Yo, dead ass."
You don't have enough pieces of swag.
You got the senior manager saw you in an elevator at 5:02, which means that you had left your desk before 5 o'clock. I am so serious. So like, yeah, I'm building a company that like I don't care if you go to I don't care if my team's at the gym right now, as long as they're being productive and not missing meetings. Like, I want people to work from where the hell they want to work, have a great time. If your work's getting done, I don't care. I want you to have fun. I want it to be the best job you've ever had. I hope everyone building a company would want the same thing for their employees. And I really respect when my team calls us on our shit. Like, I want us to be the best company ever. If there's something that's broken that I don't have like visibility on, call it out and improve it yourself. For example, we just had one employee just had a great idea. She happens to be my fiance, but she runs all of our marketing. And I'm like, yo, you can either talk to me for 30 minutes about it, or you can just go get the shit done yourself and then tell me how good of a job you did. So, like, go do it. You know, like, I trust you. You have full autonomy.
I love
so that's the org we're running. I mean, we sell volleyball nets, so it's not like we're changing the world with Apple, but we want everyone to have fun.
I love that. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of similar to Triple L here too, where Max and AJ. So I'm CMO, Max CEO, president, co-founder, and AJ CEO, and they're basically like, dude, run.
Yeah.
Go run. If it breaks, fix it. But like, we're not in the way. Like the reason you're on board is because we want you to drive. Own your
exactly.
vertical. So I love that autonomy.
The more in the way we are, the worse
exactly.
we are.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Okay, let's jump into one last question before we get into the rapid fire. What would be one tip you would give people to basically improve their brand's perception? Like how because you really are a DTC darling. Like, I mean, it's almost past DTC now. You're in 3,000 stores, so I mean, you're just a darling in terms of growth. How did you like? Is it just keep pounding the pavement and hit these compounding, and you just finally, now that you've planted all these seeds, it's come to roost?
It's
like,
funny, bro.
How have you kept such a cool
I
perception?
feel like Crossnet doesn't get any love at all. It's so funny you say that. Like I mean, in the DTC world, I see the same. I see the same damn sparkling seltzers get the same love every damn day. It's so annoying. Like, come on! It's just like this little village of people talking about the same brands every day. No, I mean, I think it's just having the credibility and the wins, right? Like we've been at it for 4 years. We've been hustling. We've aligned ourselves with the top volleyball players in the world, which I mean, most people don't care about that, but they create great content, which people want to watch. The USA Volleyball logo, which is great. We're official partners with them. I think you got to give kids respect when they're 28 and their products in 1,000 Walmart stores. Like you gotta, and it's not like some Shark Tank thing where they're just like spending cash overnight. Like we built this all from scratch. I think I do a pretty deep. Yeah,
you guys never took money.
Still have incredible. It, and I think there's a level of humility and honesty of us, and like I think I'm a real person, right? Like we did it all ourselves. I don't have no mommy and daddy money. Like my mom drives Uber and she loves it and she has a good time. She's delivering Grubhub orders this morning, and her son's back at home flipping volleyball nets on the internet. Like it's just a kind of like an American dream kind of story, as other people have said. So it's fun. It's been really fun.
I love it.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Man, you're giving me so much energy. I hate to throw you into the meat grinder now, but Max is going to take you through rapid fire, where we just kind of ping you with some questions, and then, Max, take it away.
Yes, it's definitely not the meat grinder. We're gonna have fun with it. Here we go. All right. Film school, overrated or underrated?
Overrated.
Hiring. Hear that. I'm gonna add another one in there. I'm just gonna take this one. But college, overrated or underrated?
College 10 years ago, underrated. College now, overrated.
That's right. Hiring friends and family, overrated.
Underrated.
Or underrated?
Dude, my boy's coming down on Wednesday, and he works for me, and we're gonna have the best damn time, and then like we're gonna grind, but then we're gonna sit by the pool and drink, and like we'll still talk about work, and it's great. So underrated.
I love that.
End caps, overrated or underrated?
Underrated. Underrated, especially when you don't have to.
For people that don't,
when you don't have to pay for them.
Sorry to cut you off, but for people. Right. For people that don't know, the end cap is the end part of the aisle when you're walking through a store, and it's the most prominent placing, essentially.
Yeah, it's good. Miami, overrated, underrated?
Depends what you're here for. Bro, I was here to sling volleyball nets on the beach. Like, I've never been to Club Live. I've never been to the strip clubs. Like, that's just not me, right? Like, I'm watching Netflix with my girl at 9 o'clock, and we're going to bed by 11, and I'm waking up to take a Peloton thing on the balcony. Like, I'm here for the beautiful views. The people here are shit. I'll tell you that. So, overrated.
Shout out recently engaged, right?
Engaged.
Oh, congratulations.
Congrats. Great.
French Bulldogs.
Oh, come on.
Overrated or
underrated? Where's my guy? He's around here somewhere.
Santorini.
Fucking overrated.
Oh no! So I shouldn't go.
I mean, all right. It depends how long the floor.
Your picks were so cool.
Picks were cool. All right. I'll preface. I was on day 12 of a 15-day trip. So by the time I got there, I was a little bit burnt out. Wow. So had I gone there with fresh blood, I may have enjoyed it a little bit more. But at that point, I was like on Airbnb number 9. and I was just tired. So my brother's there now. He's having a decent time.
I'm crushed. I have to rejigger it.
Stay in Oya. If you do go, you have to stay in Oya. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the best part.
Favorite New York sports team?
Knicks, by far.
Favorite meal? Why?
Damn, bro. Ribs. I love ribs so much. Yeah.
Pork or beef?
Pork.
Best movie ever made?
Oh, that's a tough one. I mean, for me, like my personal classic is classic's Hardball. I've seen Hardball so many times. Then I'd probably go like Semi-Pro. Semi-Pro is great, and I mean I've probably seen Euro Trip so many times too back in the day. So those are my big three. Oh, Accepted. Justin Long dropped off, but Justin Long could have been such a good actor. I don't know what happened to that dude, but yeah, Accepted was a great movie.
That's amazing.
The best band you've ever seen live?
Dude, I've probably been to well over 2,000 concerts in my life. I've seen every band I care to see, or fuck.
2,000. That's
Bro,
incredible.
I used to go to 3 concerts a week, like when I was living in New York City. Yeah, like concerts are like all I do. So like when people go to like the club in Miami, like it'd be concerts like every weekend.
Come to Austin,
dude. I know. Best band I've ever seen. Really memorable. I don't know why this is. Tame Impala was really memorable a few years ago. I saw. Radiohead was really memorable.
Any particular venues you like? Have you been to Red Rocks? Or
that's one I
like
haven't checked off. I need to get to Red Rocks. I used to love like going to Terminal 5 and Brooklyn Steel in New York. The smaller venues too, like Toad's Place in New Haven. Like that's where I grew up. So yeah, music's always been a huge part of my life. And now it's the Fillmore down here and Revolution Live in Fort Lauderdale. So yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
What's the favorite place you've ever traveled to?
Wyoming. I love Wyoming so much. Yeah, Wyoming's my favorite place on earth. Switzerland was really dope.
Wow.
Switzerland was amazing. We went to the Matterhorn, which is this, like really cool snowboarding spot. But whenever I sell this damn company, I'm buying a house in Wyoming, and I don't care what the girl says.
Yeah. I like that.
What's your favorite follow on Twitter?
Probably just Bleacher Report. I mean, that just gives you my news. I don't know. I feel like all this D2C and NFT stuff just kind of blends into one account these days. So I think the sports stuff is kind of cool. It sucks because like we have a responsibility as like entrepreneurs to like engage in that community, and there's a lot of value there, of course. Yeah. But there's also just a ton of noise.
There's a lot of pressure.
A lot of ass kissing. So, I mean, you got to do it. But it is what it is. But I will say, underrated is connecting with other founders. I will add that. I used to think it was such a waste of time. And I started doing it like over the last 3 years more and more. And the network of people that are just a text away are just mind-blowing to me. And I don't mean that like selfishly or like cocky, but it's like it's crazy the people that are in my phone that I could text and they'll actually send me a text back. I'm like, damn, this person's actually talking to me. So very underrated.
That's so cool. Love that.
That's huge. That's huge. Oh, here's the last one. If you could have dinner with any 3 people dead or alive, who would
dead or alive? I think Mark Cuban would be pretty dope, just because who he is.
IU alum.
Oh, yeah?
Alma mater. That's what my alma mater.
He'd be cool. Yeah. Anthony Green, because he's my favorite singer of all time. He's from a band called Circa Survive. And, I mean, pretty cliche, but I think having dinner with Elon would be pretty dope, right? So, yeah. I put those 3 in the room, especially Anthony Green, like all tatted and like drugged up talking to Elon Musk would be pretty funny.
Definitely company would get birthed out of that for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing, Chris. You made it through the rapid fire. Incredible. Okay, cool. So tell us how people can get more involved in Crossnet. How can I grab one? Take it away.
Support local business. Go to crossnetgame.com. You can also get it at pretty much any retail store in America that sells sporting goods. So buy it. Have fun.
Wow.
You could follow me on LinkedIn or Twitter at Chris Meade. And I hope you like it. I think you'll have a good time playing it.
Don't forget about your amazing newsletter. It's been fantastic. It's been such a good. The 5 things, dude. I have that printed on my wall. Like it really hit me because I have that same vibe too. Like without my fiance, dude, I'll just work into oblivion and pretty much like that's not life, right? Like there's a certain aspect of you need to grind, but there's a certain aspect of, dude, you need to explore and enjoy and kind of meander outside of just that grind. So how do people get involved in the newsletter?
So there's a Google link where you can sign up. I got to make it more professional. When I have some time,
we'll put
I'm going to build a personal website. I had somebody building it for me, and it came out 10.
This is your
so I started it three months ago, and I send one out every Thursday,
good.
And it's literally just cold hard facts because I'm so sick of like the gurus and all the people posting screenshots of companies they've never built before, and it's really going back to our point of I don't have any role model to follow that's built a 4-way volleyball game before. It's really hard to find somebody who is selling their product in 3,000 stores that's bootstrapped, that doesn't just have VC money.
An original concept.
It's an original concept. Exactly. And so it's really hard to find people that have done what I've done, which is cool. So if I could share all the mistakes that I've made and I could help somebody along the way, why not? It's been fun, and I get a lot of great connections from it, and of course we'll attach a revenue stream to it eventually, but for now it's great.
Totally.
It's great.
I love it. Chris, thank you so much for your time, man. You were just so impressive. I love everything, and whatever we can do to help out, go buy the Crossnet, go buy 10, go gift them. Really fun game, super cool. Go check it out. And then are you out of Twitter jail? Or
bro. So all right, I'll tell that story real quick.
Follow him on
Twitter,
His
Chris Meade J.
Yeah, your feed's
Thanks,
fantastic.
Dude. It was more fantastic. I got locked out of Twitter, and you know how they send you the reset password, like the number? I had blocked Twitter. I don't know why the hell I blocked Twitter. Like, I blocked their short code number. And so I kept resetting the password, and I never got it. So I sent it to myself like 35 times, and I never got the text. And I'm like, yo, I never got the text. I go through my blocked contacts. I found Twitter. And at that point, my account had been suspended and permanently banned for trying to like break into my own account. So I had to take my girl's Twitter and rebrand it from scratch over the last few months, which sucks because I worked hard on that thing. Yeah.
Oh man, nothing's easy with you, right? Nothing's easy. I love it. Well, thanks again, Chris. If you're ever out in either Columbus or Austin, give us a shout. We really appreciate the time. And like I said, go buy some Crossnet, support an awesome dude and an awesome team. That's it, folks. We'll see you on the flip. If you want to get involved with Triple Well, try triplewell.com to get an invite code, and then follow us on the Twitters at Try Triple Well. And then we also have a newsletter called Whale Mail that you can get involved with. Tuesday, Thursday, we drop it. That's it, guys. Thanks so much. Enjoy your Thursday, Chris. Bang it out in Miami, and we'll talk soon. See everybody on the flip.